everyone, and welcome back to the Assistant Room podcast. At whatever stage you're at in your career within the support industry, whether you are just starting out and are still finding your feet, or if you're more experienced and are juggling board meetings with demanding execs and a to-do list as long as your arm, I hope you are all well and having a great week so far. If we haven't met before, or if you're only just joining us, I'm Jess, founder of online PA lifestyle platform, The Assistant Room. Throughout this podcast, we will be digging deep into the lives and experiences of some of the top personal and executive assistants in the UK and beyond. And for episode 3, I sat down with Lisa Nunn, EA turned associate at real estate business Knight Frank. With over 30 years of experience working in senior support positions across multiple industries, Lisa and I chat about her recent transition from EA to associates, the importance of internal PA networks and her advice on how to create your own, and the impacts of having someone she describes as her work wife on her career so far. Well, welcome to our third episode.
Oh, thank you, Jess. It's been a pleasure to be invited.
Wow, yeah, as I said earlier, I'm super excited to do this with you. I really am. You were one of the people that when I started this, I thought I have to get Lisa on it.
Oh, really? Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So why don't we talk about your career so far, and let's talk about how you got from A to B. So your entire career, which has lasted 30 years
yes,
so far. So run us through.
I'll try and be brief, but obviously 30 years to cram everything in 30 years. So this one, this first question might take a while. So it's clear to say at the beginning, I need to say that art was my first ever passion. Originally, I was going to go to art college, and that was what I wanted to do. But family circumstances took me in a different direction. So I moved from Wales to Essex. And then when you get there, you haven't got your school friends with you. I couldn't go to college there. I had no one behind me. I had no real friends from school. So I just fell into the world of administration. So I worked various roles, started as a claims clerk for an insurance company, and then moved swiftly on to a secretary and receptionist at Mercedes-Benz garage. So lots of local work in Essex. Loved it. But every time I got to a point where there's something missing, I don't know what it was, until I realised all my friends were moving up to London and they were getting jobs up there and saying how buzzy and exciting it was. So I thought, I'm going to take that leap. So I went to London and I got my first job. Wow. It was ComShare. It was a computer software firm, and I was a PA to 19 sales staff. I have never worked so hard.
Did you say 19?
19 individuals, and they all were colourful characters, but I had a blast. We worked really hard, but we played hard as well. I remember when I first got there, they said, right, we're taking you out for lunch, Lisa. Take your bag, take your coat, because you're not coming back. I was like, really? And they said, yeah, it's better that you don't come back when you've had a few drinks, because no one will notice. If you come back, they will. It was great. I mean, obviously that wasn't a constant, but it was brilliant. That was the sort of personalities that they were there. And so it was such a good grounding. And I think for me, how to prioritise workloads and keep everyone happy at the same time was a real plus for me to take to my new role. So I worked there for quite a few years. And then I would say the turning point in my career came when I landed a role of PA office manager at Clarion Communications. It's a PR firm based in Welbeck Street. It had lots of clients such as Coca-Cola, Unilever, Lakeside Shopping Centre, just to name a few. And it's clear, I'm a West End girl, so I was always going to stay in the West End. There was definitely a position I feel was a massive step up for me. It was, if I'm honest, I was a bit scared of the magnitude of the role, but I was ready for the challenge. So I was really excited. I looked after an office of 30 people, which included PA to two of the founders, Shirley and Deborah, completely different personalities, but great in their own right. And when I mean looked after, those 10 years saw me not only utilise my PA skills, but also IT helpline assistant, facilities manager, handyman, accountant, HR specialist.
Everything.
Everything. A coach, a mum, event manager. The list is endless, but most of the time I revelled in it. It was really tough though, particularly trying to juggle a work family and a family of your own family life. So I think it's really important, Jess, for me to mention here that whilst I was working at Clarion, I came to understand how important it was for me in my role to not only work for a company that only appreciated your hard work and value, but also cared and supported your well-being. George was really poorly in his first year, our little boy, and he was in and out of hospital, and it was really tough on us as a family. My boss and team could not have been more supportive during this difficult time, and my husband was a fireman, so we had to be flexible around his shifts. when you have that support in your work life, it really does go a long way into explaining the happiness in your role and making you do your job and just be there and be loyal and for your role. Really.
It's the value, isn't it, that you know it's the value that you know your employer has for you in terms of the hard work that you put in every single day.
Completely. Absolutely. And you know what? In all my roles, I don't know whether consciously I chose those because of that, but I can hand on heart say that every role that I've had, I've always been supported. I've never felt that anyone has not been behind me, you know, the individuals there. So Shirley sold Clarion to the media giant WPP. Wow. That is Martin Sorrell's big baby. So we moved to Eastbourne Terrace. Well, I should say I moved them to Eastbourne Terrace. What a revelation. I have never experienced an environment where you have access to everything. It was wow. I had an IT department, I had a HR department, I had a facilities department. I loved it. And I can honestly say that this role set me up for the rest of my career. I think it was a really good grounding. I was trusted and empowered with so many decisions. I didn't always make the right ones, but you know, when you make mistakes, you have to hold your hand up and always try and find a solution and apologise. But I had to do that quickly. So I learned a lot of resilience there and loads of colourful personalities. But I had a wonderful 10 years there. It was the best 10 years. I was really ready for another challenge in my life. So whilst at Clarion, Shirley approached me and she had another business. She's a complete entrepreneur. I'm going to set up an executive search firm. I need you to come with me. I need a whole new office set up. I need to look for the office. I need you to set it up. What do you think? And I thought, yeah, absolutely.
So you were her girl?
Yeah. So I followed Shirley. So with her and her business partner, Kate, who still runs Sapphire Partners, are really successful. So yeah, I set it up from scratch, really, looking for offices. And I never realised this. When you do this, you find these most gems of places. So Covent Garden, we all know and love, right? Who knew where the street entertainers were? There's a church behind that called St Paul's Church. And in there's public gardens. You can sit in there. It's beautiful. There's office space in there. So we found an absolute gem of an office space and had really, really happy home there for the business to start on. So that was great. So I spent quite a few years there setting everything up from the BT to the database to the help recruit the staff. And it was great. Really good skills for me. And I did it again with her. She hopped off and started another executive search firm, left her business partner running that one. And I just thought I got to the stage where I needed some balance in my life. I needed to take a step back, in a way considered myself and not everybody else around me, you know, the support around me. So we'd recently moved to Brighton from Kent, which was amazing. And there was a new addition to the family with our baby girl, Millie. So I really thought, do you know what? I've got a lot of experience working with entrepreneurs, setting up a business from scratch taught me so much. So that I really want to set up my virtual assistant business. It was really kicking off then at that stage. There was lots of that going on. And I thought, I really want to be part of this. I've got lots of contacts. I could really use this. Well, my husband is always supportive. He always has and always will be. But he's very risk averse. So I would say he was very happy to chat about my ideas and constantly, but when he really realised that I was actually serious about this, there's a bit of a hesitation, but only hesitation, and he absolutely supported me. So I left and set up my own VA business. So I set up my website and everything that entailed, but combining it with reliving of my passion for art, it was amazing. So when we moved to Brighton, there's an artist there called Julianne Gilbert. She's quite a famous artist. She's based in Brighton. She painted Fatboy Slim's album cover.
Oh, wow.
You might have heard of the ones with the wings on. So I've always wanted to do a bit of my art. So I thought, you know what? I could probably combine my VA stuff because it's not going to be constant. I can control that. I could do a bit of painting, maybe. Saw her open gallery, stunning, loads of artists in there, real imposter syndrome. But I thought, how can I get in there? And by luck would have it that Barry one of his workmates at the fire station, knew her really well. She was an old school friend. I know. How cool is that?
Oh my God.
So
it's fate.
It is so fate. And do you know what? He phoned her. She called me and she said, Lisa, I hear you're an artist. I hear you've moved to Brighton recently. You do bold, bright, contemporary floral art. We don't have anyone like this. Come and bring your artwork down and show me.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, okay. I got there. I sort of went in and I was thinking, oh, my God, I hope she likes it. What if it's really awful? What is she going to say to me if it's awful and it's not good? Anyway, luckily she didn't. And luckily for me, she said, wow, we've got no one like this here. Come and learn. And it was great. It was, I'll be here all day if we talked about it, but it was a great experience for me. I've got clients as far afield as the Cayman Islands, and there's a hospital in Hertfordshire that has 20 of my murals on their wall. So it's amazing. And I will one day go back to that when the family have all grown up and Barry and I have some time to ourselves. Definitely we'll scratch that itch again. But it was an amazing opportunity. But the realisation that to try and manage two businesses, VA business and paint, it's really hard.
Yeah, it's
and
hard.
We struggled. The money in an art is not consistent, and it was a recession at that point. But you know what? Also, I really missed the buzz of an office environment. I really, really did. So I thought I'm going to temp. So I took a temping job at Study Group, which is an international college for students, preparing them for university. So I started temping there as the PA to the MD, and they within a month said, "Look, this is a permanent position. Did they tell you? We'd really love you to stay." So I thought, okay, why not? And I loved it. I stayed there for quite a few years. Very, very different industry for me. But what the part of it that I love, the highlight for me, was I was the UK coordinator for their Building Futures charity. So they partnered with Plan International, and they've been supporting educational projects in developing countries for over 12 years. So I was their coordinator for the whole of the UK. And so I helped the teams of 20 operations across the UK with their fundraising initiatives. So it was an amazing opportunity for me. And I sat on the UK global board representing the UK. So it was great.
And something very different to anything you'd ever done before as well.
Completely, yeah. I mean, my career is very colourful and very varied.
Well, what an amazing opportunity, though, to get involved in something that's not your everyday.
Oh, great. And I worked really closely with Plan. And the one thing for me that I really wanted to go over to Cambodia or Vietnam, and I had the opportunity to run a half marathon over there because I really love running. But literally, I'd handed my notice in. Basically, an opportunity at Knight Frank came up, and I left, and I couldn't go. So that was the one. I think if I have any regrets, I would have loved to have done that. Might have been hot, but so I worked there for many years. And then my friend Christy, who I met at WBP, and we've been friends for years, was by now working at Knight Frank. And she phoned me up and she told me it was about time that I got myself back to London. And there was a role that needed filling and she thought I'd be really good for it. So I went up there, met my soon-to-be boss, and we hit it off straight away. I joined Knight Frank in 2013 as PA for John, the head of the commercial business. My boss, John, was a true gentleman. Being able to be the best EA PA, I think you can be as much about the relationship you build with that executive. John and I built a really good relationship, and you need to be able to support them, and because you need to support and have relationships, create relationships across the business to be able to support him properly.
100%.
So yeah, John was very humble. And I learned so much from him. He probably wouldn't realise this, but unofficially he became my mentor. He taught me so much about business and the challenges that business face. We can be so naive sometimes and think, why aren't these things moving forward quick enough? But in business, you have to take your time, and things happen in their natural pace, I suppose.
I love that phrase or that word in particular when it comes to how PAs describe their bosses, because that's how I describe all of my bosses.
Yeah.
And I think you've heard me say this before, but I definitely could not run the assistant room without being a PA first, because I learned everything from the people I supported.
It's such good grounding.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really
love
is.
my role. You support people so much, but you do have your own tasks within that you have accountability for. I think you become a really good project manager. There are lots of little projects you run along the way, and you don't give yourself enough credit for that. You just think, I'm just supporting this person, but actually you're not. You're supporting the business as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, amazing. So John retired in March 2018. I think I would say my role bared little resemblance to the job spec that I had 5 years ago. He allowed me to bring tasks into the role that I really wanted to do to expand my role. So that was really great for me. So when John retired in March last year, I became EA to his successor, Stephen. Stephen and John and I worked closely for 6 months leading up to John's retirement. And that's really key. You need to hand over a role, and you need to be able to. Stephen definitely needed that 6 months with me and John to understand everything from a business point of view from John, and with me, taking Stephen through all the processes and systems in place to ensure that he had a smooth transition, and he was ready for that. And I've been there ever since.
So bring us up to speed with what's going on at the minute then at Knight Frank, because you've had a very exciting change recently.
It's been great. So Stephen is a really inspirational boss. He brought a completely different perspective to the head of commercial role. And I've completely immersed myself in the challenge of this and us working together. Our relationship is completely built on trust and honesty, and it was from the beginning. He shares my passion in supporting people to be the best they can be. We're both really passionate about that, which has seen us, the two of us as a team, it grow into a strategy team of 6 in about 18 months. It's really quite exciting. When I started as his EA, we always talked about my career aspirations, and he was always wholeheartedly supporting me, pushed me to achieve them, even to the detriment of him having to lose me as his EA. In July this year, Christy and I were promoted to Associate of Strategy, Communications and Operations, still working very closely with Stephen, but also directly with Anthony, our Chief Strategy Officer. And we supported them on 2 great initiatives for the business, so KFX and the Commercial Support Network, Business Support Network, a real defining moment for me. Here I was at 52, having the opportunity to be part of making real things happen to help support the Knight Frank to be an even better place to work. It was it's just really exciting for me.
So as someone then who's made such a big change and gone through that transition from EA to associate, what advice would you give to other people who are perhaps coming into the same sort of situation?
Don't put things off, firstly. Really don't. When my mum passed away a few years ago, I made a pact with myself not to put my life on hold for anything. What have I got to lose? I've already lost one of the most important people in my life. People matter, not things. So it's not easy. Nothing is worth getting is going to be easy, but you really have to put the work in. You have to go above and beyond to push yourself outside your comfort zone. But once you start doing it, it's really infectious. Own your role. We must remember it's not down to the company or your boss to give you your next career move. We have to own our roles and our career. If you don't know where you want to be or where you want to go in your next move, then how can you expect your boss or your company to know? When you find a job that really ignites your passion, you build on that. That is where the sweet spot is. That is where turn your job into a vocation. Most importantly as well, I think in our role, look after yourself along the way. We spend so much time supporting other people that we forget to support ourselves. Self-help, self-promotion is key. No one else is going to do it for you. Remember, everyone is their own unique brand, and there's only one of you, I would say. Finally, and really importantly, I think thank the support along the way. You must remember to acknowledge the support you receive along the way. Everyone has their own support network that helps them achieve their goals. I wouldn't have had any chance of pursuing my passion without the support of my husband, children, family, friends. They aren't visible in your work environment, but they are very much key to your success.
Yeah. And let's talk about a bit more about that passion that you have for people in particular, because I know that that's something that you have a really strong, genuine passion for. Yeah. So if we're talking about internal PA networks, and as someone who has the experience of creating one of those at Knight Frank, let's do a bit of rapid fire. In your opinion, what's the importance of an internal PA network, and how do you get started on creating one?
Well, never underestimate the power of a network, whatever it is. First of all, EAPA, secretarial administration networks, whatever you call them, they are crucial for every business to be able to tap into and utilise the talent pool you already have at your fingertips.
Yeah.
We have over 90 administrative support individuals at Knight Frank. Many have written blogs, have marketing experience, whiz on social media, have fabulous event management skills, have amazing contacts. The list is endless. And as a business, there's enormous value in these individuals sharing their knowledge and expertise and best practice. We need to invest in their personal development so they're able to effectively support not only their team, but other parts of the business. Whether you've been in the profession for 3 or, in my case, 30 years, you can still learn a lot from each other. You have to. I don't profess to know everything just because of my years in the profession, but I think one of my strengths is my maturity and empathy for difference across the businesses I've worked for. So why wouldn't I want to be able to share this knowledge with others to support them on their journey? A network is all about teamwork and collaboration, and I am a great believer in lifting people up, utilising and promoting their strengths. That is my passion, and that should be everybody's goal in life. You support each other, the world's your oyster.
Yeah, we're not just a an industry of support to our bosses or the execs or the boards or the people that we work with, we're also a support to each other.
Exactly.
PA to PA, peer to peer.
Completely. And I think, we've only just started, Christy and I, on the Commercial Business Support Network. We started creating the net. We have a long way to go. But I think one of the most important things, you need to include everyone on that journey. It's not about you. It's not, you may have started that. You may have started that network, and I'll talk a bit about that and Christy and our journey, hopefully, if I can later. But you can't do it all on your own. And why would you want to? As I said earlier, it's all about teamwork and collaboration and tapping into that extensive knowledge. I'd also say don't overcommit, take things slow. If you haven't got a network yet, anything you will start is going to be a bonus. So just start it, build slowly, and don't give yourself unrealistic deadlines. The minute you launch something, there will always be an expectation from people and the need for information that you may not be able to give them yet. So just consider those things, I think, along the way, but don't, just do it. We've had an amazing opportunity at Knight Frank, Christy and I. This is something that we had a passion for, and we noticed for Knight Frank 2 years ago. And it started in a pub over a glass of wine.
As all great ideas do.
As all great ideas do. And unofficially, I think for us, we'd been mentoring PAs and secretaries over the years at Knight Frank. They just come to us and approached us. And we thought, we're missing something here. Knight Frank, we could be helping Knight Frank here. So that's why we started over the last 2 years planning and researching and gathering feedback as well, where we might be able to help in the business, really ensure the support staff felt included, empowered in their helping to support a full and career framework for them. And also an ambition for them to have new opportunities to broaden their experience and their personal development. So we went off planning and that for a few years. And of course, we sought really important counsel along the way. We didn't do this on our own. There were lots of people involved in our journey. Really important to acknowledge that. Other PAs, secretaries and other departments as well as the HR really, really helped us in that area. We finally presented our business case about a year ago to some of the members of the commercial board. Quite a scary feat. and it didn't happen overnight, but a lot of hard work and constant brainstorming. Saw the launch of the Commercial Business Support Network in June this year. So it's an exciting time.
Incredible achievement.
One other thing, I suppose we talked about my passion for people, if I may. The other passion for me that has happened at Knight Frank, which is a really exciting career journey, is we've launched an initiative last year called KFX. This is an initiative that focuses on people. So it's right there. And with an ambitious diversity agenda, we want to empower a new generation of leaders. So we have 8 KFX boards. They're made up of 100 people across the business.
Oh, wow. I didn't realise they were that big.
Yeah, they have 100 people across the business and they have a 50-50 gender split. They've been made up to be that way. There's an average age of 35. So, okay, I'm 52, but we all have a voice. 40% of the members are below partner level. That's really crucial. And more importantly, every board includes support staff members. It was really clear from the beginning that it's inclusive and that everyone has a voice because everyone has, ideas and skills that they need to share with everybody. So I sit on the people board. So I was an original member when it started last year. And in July this year was subsequently asked to become the director of the people board. So it was a complete honour and a real shock for me. We just had our monthly people board meeting and I vividly remember the current director at the time, Abby, who was just about to go on maternity leave, and Will, who was the chairman of the board. We'd just finished the meeting. He came out and they both said to me, "Can we have a word in the office, please?" And I thought...
Did you have that feeling? You thought, oh my God, what have I done?
Honestly, Jess, I was thinking, what I'm racking my brains. What did I say? Did I upset somebody in there? Or someone said, Lisa shouldn't have said that? Or, always thinking the negative, what is it with me? And had no idea that this was going to happen. So they said, "Lisa, obviously Abby's going on maternity leave. We've been thinking about the new person to take over as director. We'd love it to be you. You love people. It's your passion. It's a great opportunity for you." And thrilled.
What was your immediate reaction?
Shock. Shock. And I sat there and I have to say I got quite welled up. I got quite emotional. I mean, I wear my heart on my sleeve anyway, and most people that know me know that is the case. But I felt quite emotional. It was a really, having just been promoted in June and then it felt like everything was just on a roll. And it just, it was amazing because I love everyone at Knight Frank. I smile at everyone at Knight Frank. It just brings me great joy. So it was a real great honour for me. And so on the people board, one of the projects we're involved in, which is really quite key, is reviewing the benefits Knight Frank have across the business. Employees are always, if you make them aware of the benefits on offer to them, they're more likely to be advocates for your business. So KF's existing package is really comprehensive, but they want to ensure that for the future, their benefits package is relevant and best in class. You'd be able to recruit and retain the best talent that way. So we recently sent a survey across the whole firm listing all the existing benefits, requesting feedback on what really mattered to everybody. We received some great feedback, really good feedback, and we're in the middle of discussing the next steps now. But do you know what was surprising? That well-being came out as the top of people's priority, which is a real key thing, I think, in the market today for everybody.
I feel as though we should talk about Christy.
Yeah,
because
we?
I feel like she's here already, She's definitely
She's always with me. She's always with me.
I describe her as your lobster.
My lobster.
She is your lobster. Well, you're each other's lobster, really, aren't you?
We are. She is, my work wife for life, I call her.
Yeah, so she's your self-confessed work wife.
Yes.
So how important has it been to have that consistent approach from somebody, or that consistent support from her throughout your career as someone who you've worked with side by side?
We've known each other for over 18 years, shared so many ups and downs, professionally and personally in our lives with the children. And I would have to say we know each other very well. But we met at WPP 18 years ago. I feel very lucky to have her on my side. She has my back. She's not afraid to tell me when I'm wrong, or being defensive or grumpy, but equally we're the first to congratulate each other when either one of us has been an inspiration or has come up with a brilliant idea. It's really important for me to have someone at work that I can completely trust wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
The Commercial Business Support Network actually started as Project Fedora, aptly named by another PA at Knight Frank.
Please tell me her name was Dora.
No, it was because fedora's a hat and we wear so many of them. So what an amazing fedora. So obviously that was a joint idea of ours, started over a few glasses of wine. But I think I'm compelled to say that something we felt compelled to develop together. This is something that we could do together. We had separate roles at Knight Frank, but was something we could come together and do with our joint experience and put in different things there. It's probably worth noting that another key driver for us was that we wanted a new challenge, both of us at this stage within our roles, but yet we didn't want this new challenge to be anywhere else but at Knight Frank. So we saw an opportunity to create our own path for something that could add value to the business and the people there. It was testament also to the values of Knight Frank, really, and our bosses, that they saw something in us and took a chance and gave us the opportunity to create something that's going to be an amazing network, without a doubt. There's 10 years between us. We each bring different skills and personalities. She's an amazing EA in her own right and advocate. You'll have to get her doing this podcast. She's got so many stories to tell, I'm sure. But the one thing that unites us when we work together is our passion. There's no doubting that. I think if you ask anyone at Knight Frank, they will say that Lisa and Christy do not lack passion.
Well, I said you're each other's lobsters, for sure. Yeah. I always love it when I come across both of you and we're out.
Really?
And you're together. Yeah. Because there's just this amazing energy between you both. Honestly, it's like you're exactly the same person, but just in two bodies.
It's really funny because when we're at work, before we did this initiative together, a lot of the time we would just huddle for lunch together and, and then once we started doing this, we were working. We still had lots of people come out and say, "Oh, Christy, Lisa, how are you?" And we're like, yeah, we're working.
Yeah.
But, because so many people, would see us together. I think we are known as a unit, as like a work, wives.
Yeah.
But also we are individual. We don't come as a pair all the time, but when we do come as a pair, it's great. I mean, I laugh so much with her. We can just say, and we just know, and also our respective partners really get on. Yeah, it's really good. It's great to have her in my life.
No, it's amazing. I think everybody needs that one person.
Yeah,
like you said earlier, you need that one person that you can really rely on.
Yeah.
And she's that person and you're
definitely.
that person for her too, which is
it's
great.
Lovely. Yeah, it's great.
Well, let's look back then at your career so far. Obviously, you've had so much experience in lots of different industries and working in lots of different ways. So if there was one thing that you would want everyone in our industry to remember, what would it be?
Do you know, this is easy for me. Don't stop learning. Even if you know exactly where you want to be or even if you're already there, you just can't stop learning. Don't stop. Just because you've got where you want to be doesn't mean you have learned everything that you need to know. Use social media for the positives. Social media's out there at the moment, but there's so many positives. Don't spend the wasted time scrolling through other people's so-called perfect lives, because they're not. Spend your time wisely. Invest in yourself. Invest time in researching and following people that inspire you. Read books. Listen to inspirational people on podcasts, Jess, like yourself.
Like us today.
I mean, use social media for the positive messages and inspiring articles that will enrich your life, your career. We always try to validate ourselves, I think. Imposter syndrome is real. But if we learn more, the confidence in ourselves will grow. Spend time face-to-face with people as well in your industry, talking, understanding people, what they do, what have they done to get where they are. Keep yourself grounded, stay humble, really. Remember, it doesn't matter how long you've been in your profession or your industry. You are never too experienced to learn from others. I recently had a 360 done, and I would hugely recommend it to everyone. It's so true. You think it's not going to be, but it is spot on. It's really important, I think, for everyone in their career to gain feedback and understand how they are perceived by other individuals you work with across the business. That's the only way you're going to grow and develop. And if you can get yourself a mentor, all the better, I think. Sum that up.